Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks post-game podcast. The Hawks beat the San Jose Sharks. I'm sorry, the lowly San Jose Sharks. 5-2.
So low
so
down
bad.
there in 32nd place.
Losers.
Yes.
Losers. 4 third-period goals for the Blackhawks. It took them the better part of, what would you say, 30 minutes to kind of snap out of whatever stupor they were in to begin this game, but once they started clicking,
couldn't solve brick wall Devin Cooley.
Hey, he is he also the world's greatest prospect? Everyone named Cooley
He wasn't
is the
tonight.
world's greatest prospect?
Yeah, it wasn't tonight.
Yeah, it was it started off as one of the least entertaining games I've ever seen, but at least it moved quickly.
Yeah.
And then the third period was super fun.
Yeah, I mean, scoring goals and winning is
Yes.
the name of the game. So when the Blackhawks do that, it's fun. And I'm so glad that they did not. They were able to break through and not get shut out by a goalie making his NHL debut, who they at one point invited to prospect camp in 2019 as a college goaltender. And that storyline would have been set up so perfectly for this Blackhawks team. But thankfully, they were able to rewrite the script and get some stuff going in the second period, and that third period outbreak was awesome. 3 goals in 83 seconds, 83, and you get one from Kevin Korchinski, which you love to see. You get a kind of just a random play from Ryan Donato and a good luck goal from Joey Anderson.
Woo.
So I mean, as far as like kind of like getting some breaks tonight, like. You got that tonight for sure.
Well, let's start there. But first, we want to remind everybody to smash that like button for us and subscribe to our YouTube page as well. If you're a podcast listener, you know what you can do? While you're listening to the podcast, you can go to YouTube, subscribe to the page, find this show. It should be the last one right there, and like it.
Yeah.
You can do it all. And if you're just a YouTuber, you can open up your podcast app, dust it off, subscribe to CHGO Blackhawks, and leave it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yeah.
It's friends helping friends. It's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what St. Patrick did. That's what he's famous for. He drove the snakes out of Ireland, and he subscribed to YouTube pages and podcasts.
And he left 5-star reviews.
And 5-star reviews. 5 Shamrock reviews is what they do in Ireland.
That's true. That is true, yeah.
So, and I can say that because I'm Irish.
So am I.
And Greek.
You're just checking all the boxes, aren't you?
Yeah.
And Italian. And vaguely English. I got lots of stuff. Lots of stuff going on. All right, so you did that, right? Everyone hit the subscribe button. Cool. We'll do a like spike later in the show. And what's the new thing you created, Steven?
A subscribe vibe.
The subscribe vibe. I love that. We'll put the actual real-time subscription numbers on the screen. You can see them go up. It's very exciting. But your point of this is like the tale of 2 different games.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is sort of the copy and paste complaint for a lot of Hawks games is for the first 30 minutes, they are trying to be perfect, extra pass, bad pass, trying to force something that's not there over and over and over again. And then finally, they score that first goal, which is Kurashev bringing that on a 3-on-2. Bedard gets it to Johnson across the ice. Johnson does like the shoot pass. Kurashev tips it in, and the Hawks have the lead. And that trend has continued where just look at that Donato goal. Tenorti passes it to his belly button, which is an interesting approach. It lands at Donato's feet, and he's like, F it. Throws it on net.
Put it on net.
Radish is in front. Goal. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I liked how they started to simplify their game about halfway through the second period. Because, I mean, you saw it on the Jason Dickinson play, like, they were just overpassing, overthinking themselves into oblivion in this game. And I'm just like, I'm sitting up there in the press box. I'm like, it's the San Jose Sharks. Like, you guys are looking in a mirror. Simplify it. Like
Spider-Man meme?
Yeah, simplify the game, like you to take advantage of teams that are in this area of the standings in the NHL is to just try and play a simplified game.
Yep.
Both offensively and defensively. And yeah, I think they started to get there in that second period. And, shots with traffic, shots with redirections, like both teams had a lot of chances like that tonight. And there were a number of them for the Blackhawks that didn't go in. I think Bedard had one in the game. Landon Slaggert had one, almost had his first NHL goal on a redirection
and it's
play.
coming, by the way. He looks solid.
Yeah, he's working hard out there.
Yeah.
The Blue Lines were not favorable to him tonight, but his
Good work
work
for Jared Tenorti.
his work ethic is very noticeable, and that's what I think we need for this team in the last 14 games of the season now. Hardworking, simplified game, and you're going to get some results like this because that's how this team is built. Simple guys that play simple games and can excel that way.
Absolutely. All right, it's time to vote for the 4th star of the game. Your 3 stars, number 3, Joey Anderson.
Whoa.
Steven.
Whoa.
Thank
I
you.
had to find it. It's out of order now.
It's under J. 1 goal, 4 shots, 2 shot attempts. Your number 2 star, Ryan Donato, a goal and 6 shots on goal. That's shots on goal, not just shot attempts.
He's
been good.
Kicked it into gear these last couple of games.
Yep. And Kevin Korchinski, your number 1 star with the game-winning goal, 2022 of ice time, 2 shots and 4 shot attempts. So here are your 4-star nominees. Tyler Johnson, 2 assists, 1933 of ice time, 3 shots on goal, 4 shot attempts, and got in there on Addison when he was like dry humping Connor Bedard with no call being made.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. And I'm glad that both Tyler Johnson, he was going to go to the penalty box for that, but good for him. Like, don't let anyone do that to Connor Bedard.
No.
But I'm also glad that Keelan Addison got the penalty on that play as well, because that was a penalty. You can't just sit on a guy. Like, you're not Yokozuna. Like, you can't just do that and get away with it.
Onside drop.
Yeah.
Most underrated WWE champion of all time. All right, we'll get to that in the offseason. Your second nominee for 4-star, Philip Kurashev, had a goal, an assist, 21-10, a shot on goal, and 3 shot attempts. That's 100% shooting, my friend.
It's pretty good.
And the other nominee, Connor Bedard, empty net goal, assist, 20-38, 3 shots on goal, and 4 shot attempts. So there you have it. I think Bedard in this one, a lot of his plays, and we've seen a lot of this year, we're like, oh, look at that, but no one's ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
There were kind of a lot of those.
Still.
Yeah, there's kind of a no touch, like pass between the legs that went right on the tape to Tyler Johnson. He's like, oh, shit, there's the puck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that, but he was solid. He was good.
Yeah, and I think, even though we're still we're at the end of the season, I think guys are still getting caught off guard by some of the things he can do, some of the plays he can make, that little bit of that subtle creativity. And for some of the guys that are on this team, it's going to be something that you can learn and go into next season and have it carry over. Not everyone's going to be here next year, but I think for a lot of the guys that matter to this team next season and moving forward, especially Philip Kurashev, the way him and Bedard have played off each other this year, that has been a great development this season, and that's going to carry on to next year for sure. Yeah,
I'm excited to see. Kurashev, I mentioned his ice time, but again, it really stood out to me. 21-10 of ice time, more than Bedard. He's just really become a solid player, a difference maker, and I think a lot of times people are going to be quick to say, oh, well, he's just a product of Bedard. It's not really true. I think that he's been doing a lot on his own. Look, anyone that plays with Bedard is going to get their points. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But Kurashev has been a difference maker for this team most of the year, even when Bedard was out.
Yeah, there's some guys on this team that playing with Bedard is going to carry them because he's playing with Bedard. But Kurashev, away from Bedard, has been able to be effective in different ways, and his game isn't just predicated on being like one-dimensional, where it's just like only because Bedard is feeding him, he's getting tips and rebounds and stuff or anything like that. Like, he's a guy that can play a solid two-way game. He can play on the penalty kill, and even though he doesn't have to do it all the time. He can go into a corner, go behind the net, and battle for a puck, which I think is something that, a guy who's going to create for himself needs to be able to do. And he's been able to develop that last year and this year. And then, yes, playing with Bedard amplifies all of it.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. But I don't want people to think that it's just whoever you plug in there is going to have a great season. It's not true. We've seen guys up there with Bedard who have not been able to create and have actually held him back a little bit. So,
yeah.
All right, 2 super chats before our first break. This one is from Franchile. This was my first ever live hockey game. Sat 5th row, and the atmosphere is like nothing I have experienced.
That's awesome.
That's great, and especially seeing an exciting third period like that. I think if this had been Fran's first game and it was like the first half of this game, he probably would never come back.
If Friday was your first game,
oh god,
that would have been been a little rough. But that was probably a really good experience. Hopefully you enjoyed all the pregame festivities as well to round out your experience tonight.
They really do a really solid job in arena.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff they do is sometimes it flops, right? But they try, and it's creative, and it's usually on theme of the night or whatever. So a Hawks game is a good experience. That Kings game would have sucked, but congrats on your first Hawks game. And then Josh with a $5 super chat says, Lucas Reichel looked like he was skating with a purpose tonight. Yes. I hope this means he started to figure out how to find his groove again. Let's put a pin in that. We're going to get to that on the other side of the break.
Absolutely.
But we want to remind you, I know it's Sunday night. It's St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully you consumed many, many Coors Lights safely.
Responsibly.
Maybe with some green dye in them. Mm-hmm. I saw Region Rev sending over some virtual green beers in the chat.
Nice.
And I know for sure that they were Coors Lights because they are the perfect beer when you need to chill, whether it's celebrating a win, coping after a loss, or just, kicking up your feet after a long day. Nothing's better to chill than Coors Light. And you know why. It is cold filtered. It is cold lagered. It is cold packaged for a smoother finish. And I can tell you, the fact that I'm able to drink these during a show and not fall asleep or feel like I'm bloated, that's all you need to know. When the mountains turn blue, these are some blue-ass mountains. It's as cold as the Rockies. When it's time to chill, open to Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. When it's time to chill, Coors Light is the beer we reach for. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO hockey. CoorsLight.com/CHGO hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Cheers.
Cheers indeed. And hey, if you want to celebrate your prize picks, you can open up a Coors Light and enjoy it. Or if you want to, wallow in your missed prize picks, Coors Light also works. But hey, either way, prize picks, they're the best place to go for daily fantasy sports. They are the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because it is just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, not the San Jose Sharks, but other sharks.
Yeah.
You just have to pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. I love prize picks. We've had some other apps that we've used here from CHGO. Prize picks is one of my favorites because of the fact that it's just, you don't have to get too analytical about things.
Is that analytics?
That's analytics. Analytical. I don't know.
Analytical? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, but
there you go.
You got to say it the way.
Oh, like Patrick Rowe?
Yeah.
And analytical.
Yeah,
I think you got it.
Analytical. Anyways, you don't have to really, play those kind of numbers. You just got to think about more than or less than, and
easy.
I pick the more thans 99% of the time because it's fun to root for those. It's conference tournament time for the next. Actually, no, it's over. Actually,
yeah, it's
conference
over.
tournament time is over. Now it's ready for the big tournament, the real one, the one that matters the most. So that means the biggest moments in college basketball are right around the corner. Be a part of the action on Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball. And now you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct Picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks. Again, America's #1 fantasy sports app. The other thing I love about Prize Picks is the injury security that they have. Like if you make a pick on a player and they get injured or they don't play at all in the game, they don't hold it against you if they don't hit their numbers. So, for example, today I had one prize pick that ended up hitting because I had Giannis Antetokounmpo involved, and as soon as I closed the prize pick app after making my entry, I opened Twitter, and the first thing I saw is Giannis Antetokounmpo will not play today. And I thought, son of a biscuit. But it ended up not counting against, and it hit. So thank you, Prize Picks. So go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That is, again, prizepicks.com/CHGO, code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
I'm just laughing at the chat of Dirtless Shark Guy.
Dirtless
chat right now.
Dirtless.
I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a guy. Oh,
it's a play on Shirtless Dark Guy.
Dirtless Shark.
Dirtless Shark Guy.
Ooh,
well,
that's not a guy you want to be.
Dirtless and shark by definition. But appreciate the effort. Yeah.
Late night drop
from
in
England.
from the UK. Well, see, everything's backwards in the UK. They drive on the other side of the roads. The driving wheel.
And a shark cleans your pants.
Steering wheel is on the other side of the car, so it's
Fair enough.
The words are jumbled. Too.
I love the name.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller, we're going to get to your comments soon, too, but we want to get to Lucas Reichel, who made his return today and, didn't light up the scoreboard, picked up an assist on Korchinski's game winner, but just much more noticeable in this game, involved in plays. I feel like before he went down, the vast majority of games he played in, you'd sort of end the game and say, did he play?
Yeah.
Like, I don't recall anything happening with him. And the things you did remember were frustrating, right? Like peeling off instead of shooting or whatever. I really liked his game today. There's room to grow, of course.
Yeah.
But it seems like message received. One thing I like about Rockford coach Anders Sorensen is that he does not sugarcoat anything.
No.
He will tell you flat out what he thinks. And there's been a couple times we've covered Ice Hogs games and they've lost and he says they're bad. And he'll flat out tell you who is bad and why.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
Like he is not going to mince words.
Right. And I don't think Luke Richardson does that either. But I just think that Sorensen has a way about him to just, it's not a guy that you want to piss off. And if you want to know how you played, ask him and he'll let you know. But we saw Bedard win some board battles. We saw him come out with some pucks. He set up a nice scoring chance. I believe it was to Tyler Johnson. I don't remember. I wrote it down, but I can't find it.
Reichel?
He helped. Oh, no. He helped somebody along the boards. Came out and set up a nice scoring chance, and the Hawks almost scored. He was just involved, and that's what Luke has been looking for him all year.
Yeah.
Was just be a factor. Just go out there and be a factor. And today, assist or no assist, he was a factor in this game.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more north-south hockey coming from him. I think there was, there in the third period, there was a chance that he had where I think if he hadn't have gone to Rockford and hadn't had that experience, it might have been that peel off to the corner, pull up, and maybe look for a drop pass, and he took it right to the net. And I think that's something that had been missing from him this season. So good to see that. Good to see he was getting engaged in the game, in puck battles and everything. More of that the rest of the season, and I think we can try and put a good closing chapter to the season for Reichel, and that would be good for him moving forward.
Yeah, it's what we kind of talked about last show was, a strong finish for the team and a strong finish for the individuals are important. And Reichel to have a game like today where I think he probably leaves safe, feeling good about things. Yeah. It's a good first step. There was a comment from Ira I want to get to, too. Reichel also had 4 block shots in this game.
How about that?
That's rare. And maybe a couple just hit him, but still. I mean, that means he's involved in a play. He's in the areas where the puck is.
Yeah.
So that's really solid.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a like spike here real quick. We got some time, and I want to do
We got tree in the chat.
All right, we're gonna do a like spike in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spike the like button for us.
Spike.
Elbow smash it. Bonsai drop it. Leg drop it. People's elbow it. Give it a stinger splash. Give it the what did Dusty Rhodes call that? where he would just do this and then elbow you in the head. I don't remember. Probably the American Dream.
An elbow?
Give it a shake, rattle, and roll like the Honky Tonk Man.
There you go.
Jake the Snake Roberts, DDT. Any of those. All right, now, Steven, it's time for you to debut your new segment. This is of Steven's creation.
Ooh, it just went up one.
So this is the subscribe vibe. We have the
Nice.
live
Subscribe vibe.
counter right here. Do you want to count it down? Everyone just hits the subscribe at the same time. I will say it does take a few seconds after you click it to
All
actually
right.
show
All
up.
right, everyone subscribe.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit that subscribe button. Give it a Sweet Chin Music.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a Vader Bomb.
Give it an F5.
Jackknife Power Bomb, a.k.a. a la Kevin Nash. I had a dream about Kevin Nash last night.
Interesting. How'd that go?
It was just weird. I just told him, like, hey, man, I hope you're doing okay because his son died
Oh, that's sad.
like a year ago. And then I said, you were on my favorite episode of Detroiters.
Nice.
And we really hit it off.
There you go.
So there you go. Me and Kevin Nash, best friends in my dreams. So look at that,
There
right
you
in
go.
real time. See, that's fun.
51,799. Let's get to 51,800.
51.8, and we will continue the show.
800.
There is a lot of new names in the chat today.
That's
At least
awesome.
I haven't seen these
Definitely.
names.
Love seeing that.
All right, come on, one more. We just lost one? Steven, this
Oh
bit
no,
has failed.
this is not good. I don't like this one.
I think that was someone probably unsubscribing and hitting it again.
Oh goodness.
I would imagine.
Oh boy.
We can come back to the number.
Yeah, we'll come back.
In the meantime, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the
Yeah, please do
subscribe
that
button.
for us.
I went back
just
up.
got the one
Nice. We
back.
got it
There you
back.
go.
All right.
Beautiful.
That was great.
Yeah, but anyway, good to see Reichel kind of feeling like himself again. Why don't we hear from Lucas after tonight's win? Greg Boyson sent this in. He'll join us shortly from the UC. But until then, why don't we hear from Lucas Reichel?
Yeah, good. I think at first, the pace of the game is a little bit different, but I just try to, give everything 100% every shift and try to win every battle and, just compete as hard as I can out there. And that was my focus before the game.
It seemed that you were a little more assertive, aggressive out there. Is that what you were working on in Rockford?
Yeah, just like I know I'm not, the biggest guy, but just using my body and even when I have the puck, I can, protect my body. Sometimes I know in the second period I got hit and then I lost it, but I know if I keep working on that and protect the puck, I'm gonna be able, to make more plays out of it.
What did you see on Korchinski's goal?
I think good battle by Fliggy behind the net, and then I just got the puck off the wall and give him a pass, and he just ripped it and it went in. So I think good shot by him, and I think it was a good momentum changer in the game.
There was a play where kind of along the blue line you were almost like juggling the puck to keep it in. And is that, I guess, just kind of improvising on the fly with that kind of play?
I don't know. I just didn't think about anything. I just try to set a puck down, and then the guy came, so I try to put it over him, and I don't know if it worked after, but I kind of did. But I just I wasn't thinking out there, so I just try to have fun.
Do you get goosebumps when you hear how loud the building got in that third period?
Every time. I think even in the national anthem, it's like always. Doesn't matter how tired you're before a game, or you're always pumped to go out there and compete, and that's the NHL, and it's always fun to play here.
Did this feel like one of those games where it didn't matter what each team's record is?
Yeah, I mean, just like guys are battling for a spot in the team or for a contract, and we all want to win. It doesn't matter where we at in the standings. So it was they compete hard, they battle till the end. But those in the third period, those goals they helped us a lot and gave us momentum.
There he is, Lucas Reichel, after tonight's assist performance. Good return for him. Hopefully the arrow keeps going up.
Yeah.
Are you laughing at Dirtless Shark Guy again?
No, I'm just I love our chat.
We're not talking
always
Bears and
good
Justin
stuff.
Fields in here. It's over.
I get that enough on
Over.
the actual
Or
Bears show.
are you already sick of talking about the Bears,
Time to
Steven?
move on.
I don't want to hear about
Yeah.
Justin Fields, Caleb
Interesting.
Williams. This is
Interesting how
my
that
one
works.
reprieve.
Yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah, happy to see Reichel have a good game in his first game back, and happy to see Rockford win tonight 4-1 without Reichel. So that was really good. Cole Gutman 2 goals. Rem Pitlick, AHL All-Star caliber player. 16 points in 13 games for the Ice Hogs this season. 3 assists tonight. Good for him.
Yeah, good job, Remington. One more thing about Reichel. In that interview, he talks about a moment where he's like, there was a time where I had the puck on the boards and I lost it. That's a guy who is very aware of everything he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's typically not a good thing because that means you're out there thinking. But to me, it indicates that the message has been received.
Yep.
That these are the things you need to do. You need to be stronger along the boards, win more battles, that sort of thing. So when he points out specifically a moment where it didn't happen, that is an acknowledgement of failure on his part. And to me, read into that he gets what they're asking him to do.
Yeah, and it's probably something that, in between periods or whatever, he probably got pulled into the video room for a second and was like, hey, this is what we've been talking about. Like, this is the kind of play we can't have continue and stuff like that. So these guys, they definitely, go in and get everything pinpointed on what's working, what's not working pretty quickly. So, yeah, I'd imagine that's something that he's still even, in his first game back thinking like, all right, well, that's a play I'm going to hear about later, right after it happens. But at least he's not letting it weigh on him,
right,
and letting that ruin the rest of his game. Like, he was able to, snap back from it and still have a good finish to the game.
We know Greg's going to be with us here shortly. The other thing I want to talk about before he got here was in his second game back was lined up at center today. I like him at center. It's very strange. Like, he finished last year so strong there,
yeah,
and then played there tonight. It amazed me to see. I don't know. He's just a lot more involved as a center, and I think it suits his game well.
Yeah,
he's a puck controller, a puck carrier, the guy that's like leading breakouts. I think he's looked really solid in his return. No points, but he's gotten his chances, and we know Athanasiou is a guy who the thing that has held him back in his career is his ability to finish.
Mm-hmm.
But they're there. The chances are there. The speed looks good. He looks like his old self. I like him at center. I would keep him at center.
Yeah, I mean, there was at least 2 or 3 times tonight where he had chances created off the rush individually, which was great to see. You'd want that continuing to happen. And yeah, I remember when he got moving to center last year, we were just like, all right, he's never played center before, so let's give it a try. And it ended up working out, and now I have an opportunity for him and Reichel to play together and have Athanasiou down the middle with that pairing. Like, I like that. That's the way it was set up last year. I know Khrushchev was on that line too, but you're not going to split him and Bedard up. So yeah, having Athanasiou and Reichel work together, I think that'll be good. And yeah, I mean, Reichel with his speed can cover 200 feet of ice faster than most other players in the NHL. So even if his defensive game is not he's not Sidney Crosby out there shutting people down as a center. But his speed can make sure that he can transition well, and he's got some good stick handling hands. It's the goal scoring hands that gotta come around eventually.
It'll come. He's hopefully like 30 only.
Hopefully.
All right, we've got Greg standing by from the United Center, so we're going to bring him in a second. But first, we're going to let you know about our friends at Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and their low price guarantee. You should know by now that Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they've got other companies trying to rip them off, but Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, or speed. So competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire simply refuses to carry. They keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with 1,000 different choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is just as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples every year to find the perfect styles. And when you get those styles narrowed down and you want to be confident in your decision, you can use Empire Today's virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how those new floors are going to look in any space. It's easy. You just snap a picture and instantly see how the new floors will look in your home. And remember, shopping for floors at a big box store can be frustrating. You might talk to someone today in flooring who is working in plumbing, selling toilet plungers yesterday. Flooring is all Empire Today does. They live and breathe flooring, and really, who doesn't? So you can be confident you're getting honest, upfront advice. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 discount
Nice.
when they use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details.
Nice. That's something I
Boom.
can spell and remember.
Yeah.
And, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you need to check out our friends at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and
Creme.
yes, go see them out in Fox Lake. They are celebrating the Jeep Celebration event all month long. And you know what that means? Do you? You know what that means? Well, I'll tell you. You'll be able to rave about their savings on a wide selection of inventory. For a limited time, lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo Altitude for $439 a month for 39 months. If that Grand Cherokee isn't big enough for you, check out the third row and lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited for $479 a month for 39 months. At Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop. Oop, almost dropped my phone. Shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to Ray's price promise. Don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. But that's not all. Just for listening, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. Wow. But you have to schedule before April 1st. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Creme because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. That's up by me. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
All right, we're going to bring in Greg, but we have 350 people watching and 213 likes.
Ooh,
something is not right.
Let's get that math working.
Smash that like button. And if you get annoyed by us asking you to do it, boy, Greg looks glorious right now. Holy cow. If you get tired of saying so, just do it and we'll shut up.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the hair today. I was next to you for 2 periods and didn't notice that.
That's on you, man. It's right there, right next to you.
God damn. Woo. Keep going. Say something to me.
It's vanilla spiced conditioner. In case you're wondering.
Nice.
Ooh, that's nice.
How was the? Looks like we only played. Just so you know, we only played Reichel. We only had time to play Reichel. I saw Anderson spoke. A couple other guys spoke. What was the? I'm assuming the vibes were high in the locker room today.
Oh, yeah, of course they were. Or to quote Kevin Korchinski, who we spoke to, obviously, they were very high. Yeah, I mean, hey, the last 2 games that I've got to stick around for, the third periods have been a lot of fun. We'll see. The next home game, we're all going to be sticking around for the third periods, our takeover. So hopefully they give us some more fun. But this was it was a game that was there for the taking all day. You kind of felt like, hey, it's Devin Cooley, who is making his NHL debut, is not a highly touted prospect by any means. He's literally the 5th string goalie in the San Jose organization from the start of the season. Just keep peppering him. Chances are you're going to get some chances, and that's exactly what happened. I got to give some credit. The Ryan Donato goal, which I don't know if you guys saw it on TV, but I saw it here. It looked like Jared Tenorti's pass hit him right in the McNuggets, and then he was still able to score the goal. That's maybe the most impressive goal ever scored. Just to take a Jared Tenorti hand grenade right to the biscuits, and you still would have, good stuff. But credit on that goal, Taylor Radish had his ass in the goalie's face, and he never saw it coming. Nick Foligno provided a screen on the Korchinski game-winning goal. That was after he went and got the puck, out of the corner. He did exactly what he was supposed to do on that line today. Be the gritty guy. Be the guy that wins the puck battles. Create some space. He did that all day, game long. So, a great effort by this team, and there's very little to complain about. I mean, obviously there was my Korchinski quote. There are some things, both of those goals I think, were avoidable plays, the goals against. But again, we're talking about a team with, not the greatest roster in the world, so those are going to happen. But you made less mistakes than the team you played against, and you won. So that's all that matters.
That's it.
Usually making less mistakes than your opponent will lead to
Usually.
good things happening. Usually. What was Luke's response to Reichel's game tonight? I'm sure that was the topic of conversation.
Yeah, he liked what he saw. He said he was definitely more assertive, more aggressive. They played the way they wanted him to see. They wanted him. Smilingly called him out for missing that one-timer in the third period, but he said, I'll get I like the fact that his mindset was to shoot there, where in the past he would have looked to pass. So even though he missed the shot, he was thinking shot, and the next time he gets that play, he's going to bury it.
One thing we talked about before he jumped on about Reichel was in the interview you sent in, he actually mentioned, I had a mistake where I lost the puck around the boards. And we were saying that it's very clear that Reichel is aware of what the assignment is and acknowledge in that moment that he had failed the assignment there. And I think now you're finally seeing, or he's finally receiving, rather, the message that has been given to him for 40-some games before they finally said, all right, we got to get you to Rockford because you're just not getting it here. So it seems like that send-down message received.
Yeah, that's a great point. Recognition of what is expected out of you is the first step to actually doing what's expected out of you. Like if you make that play and say, I don't care, I was supposed to do, okay. But realizing that, I screwed up there because I was supposed to do A, but I did B. So next time I'll do A is the lessons finally starting to sink in. And he was asked about that play on the blue line where he kind of juggled the puck and tried to go over to the defender. And he just basically said, you guys played it, but he said I wasn't thinking, I was just using my instincts. And that's what you want. Especially players that have shown to be dynamic in the past, just be instinctual and do your thing.
That's it. Worth playing, Luke, do you think?
I mean, I kind of gave you the best bits from that already.
All right, fair enough.
Was,
it'll be up on our YouTube page, and
yeah.
it's on our Twitter right now. So if you want to check it out after the show, of course, you can do it there. Athanasiou is a guy we were talking about, too, right before he jumped on, playing center today. And we were sort of saying, and I was I think I prefer him there. And I'm not sure what it is about his. You wouldn't think if you were going through the roster of wingers and saying which of these guys would make a nice transition to center. I don't know if Athanasiou would be the first guy you would pick. I wonder why it's working so well. I seem to think just his speed gets him places more quickly. What is your thought about him at center?
Well, I think, it all depends on who his line mates are. So when he has Lucas Reichel on one wing, a guy that could keep up with him, then it's definitely more effective because if he's a center, and not to single guys out, but if he's got, say, Nick Foligno and Tyler Johnson on his wings, he's going to be getting in the zone waiting for those guys to catch up to him all game long, and it's just not going to be as effective. But when you have Reichel, who could keep up with that speed, that makes two guys blazing down the ice, and that's hard to defend. And then you have Foligno there to do all the dirty work. So I don't mind Athanasiou as a center. I know when they went with it last year, we were all kind of like, well, what are we doing here? But it worked well. And if you get him the right combination of guys, he needs that speedy winger with him, and then it will work a lot better. And him and Reichel, they had chemistry last year. We were waiting for it at the beginning of the season. We all thought it was going to be him and those two with Kurashev. We saw it in that one scrimmage way back in training camp, and it was electric. And then, Kurashev got hurt, and then he came back. Remember, Kurashev missed the first handful of games of the season with an injury, and then Athanasiou got hurt. It just never happened. It's not going to happen this year because you're not taking Kurashev away from Bedard, maybe not ever. But those two guys, Athanasiou and Reichel, they work well together, especially with Reichel at center. So keep it rolling.
Athanasiou at center, you mean, right?
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah. Making sure. Yeah. And by the way, today, Jared Tenorti surpasses Taylor Radish in the assist column. He's got 8 to Radish's 7. But then Lucas Reichel says, F you, Jared Tenorti. Now I have 8 assists too.
Yes.
Is this, boy, when those two look back on this season and they see their name right there with Jared Tenorti, there's going to be some soul searching going on. But look, we've talked a lot about Reichel, and I guess today's the day to kind of, if we're going to go deeper dive on any topic, it would probably be Reichel. I think there is a certain percentage of this fan base that has just flat out given up on him. And if you missed our post game against the Kings, and we don't blame you because that game sucked, we sort of talked about in the comparison to Quentin Byfield, who, asterisk, not the same kind of player. He is definitely a power forward compared to a skill speed forward like Reichel, but it doesn't happen overnight. And I think it's something that this fan base especially is unfamiliar with, because you look to when I would suspect the majority of people watching our show became Hawks fans when Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane were here, right? And it was their arrival that turned them into Hawks fans. So they missed the bad years of Duncan Keith, the bad years of Brent Seabrook. Then you had Kane and Toews, then you had Saad, then you had Panarin, then you had all these guys come out and be great right away. Now you're getting it again with Connor Bedard. The norm is what's happening with Reichel. The norm is probably what's going to happen with Kevin Korchinski, right? Where there's ups and downs and it's a bit of a roller coaster. I think giving up on Reichel at this point is super premature. And someone in the chat just mentioned Teuvo Teravainen, which is a good comparison. Similar kind of players. It took him a few years to get out of Joel Quenneville's doghouse. He went to Carolina and became the fully realized player that we all thought he could be. I just think, and I think we're all pretty much in lockstep on this, but giving up on Reichel at this point would be a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I agree on that. And the Teuvo comparison is really good because they play a similar style of game. And Teuvo all of a sudden got really good when, he's on a team and surrounded by really good talent around him as well. That might be something to consider with Reichel too. Like, like when he's around guys that can finish and guys that can score, there's probably going to be an uptick in his possession and in his numbers too. But yeah, he's 21 years old. It's far too early, and the Blackhawks have nothing but time to figure out if Lucas Reichel is part of the long-term picture or not.
Yeah, and I think with Reichel, it's not that you want to give up on him, but I think it's that the expectations this season, the trajectory that he was on was pretty high. So for him to have the season that he's been having, it's a huge disappointment, and it's you kind of go into a mode where you're like, are we being too in love with our own young guys, our own prospects, to not see that some of these guys are maybe not going to be the top line players we expected them to be, or anything like that. But I think with Reichel, it's more or less just like, yes, let's see what he can do when there's some more talent around him, and let's see what he can do when he's had a full NHL season, when he's had some time to kind of like step away from the game at the NHL level and process things, because he had the small sample size of games at the end of last season where it looked like he was turning a corner, and then the season was over. Right. So it was like, this season you wanted him to kind of step into that role again and have it carry over, and I think not having the start to the year be with Athanasiou and Kurashev, where he finished the year last year, I think that hinders a little bit of things, and then it just kind of snowballs out from there. But if he can finish this season on a positive note, I think that's going to be really good for his confidence, and hopefully, you carry it into next year. He's going to be an RFA, so you're going to see what kind of faith the organization has in him, which I don't think they're anywhere near giving up on him. But maybe they might be in that, like, okay, like, we're not giving up on you, but we're also not giving you the bag kind of thing. So we'll see where it ends up landing. But I think this is still a guy who has the runway to figure out his game young in his career with the Blackhawks.
When BJD brings up a good point, says, I just hated them waiting so long to send him down. it wasn't helping him at all to keep him up here and bear himself up more. So I think that it's a tough proposition for the Hawks there, because I think that sending him down was the last resort, and they wanted to wait as long as they possibly could before doing that, because you had to worry about the psyche of a player who thought, and look, even last year, we talked about it for a ton of the year last year when we were talking about Taser Kane being traded. We were talking about Lucas Reichel and how he deserved to be in Chicago. Mm-hmm. He was doing everything they asked. We thought he was going to start the year last year here and didn't. Went down to Rockford, did everything they asked, and still didn't get called up until the end of the year full time. So he feels he clears that hurdle. We all feel he clears that hurdle. Then he comes in this year and really struggles, starts up on the top 6. Then, Richardson can't justify him playing in the top 6 anymore. So he's put on the bottom 6 where he doesn't belong, can't perform. He's not a bottom 6 player. And they finally got to the point where they're like, there's really nothing more we can do.
Yeah.
So they sent him down. And game 1 improved. There's a lot more room to grow, but I think that just, I could see what BJD is saying, that they waited too long to send him down, but they also had to be concerned about how is he going to react when that happens. And he said when he came back that it pissed him off. Being sent down pissed him off. And he didn't say it wasn't justified. And I think he said pissed off more in the way of, it pissed me off and I wanted to prove them right. Or prove them wrong, not piss them off as an F them, I'm done with this organization kind of thing.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and good. I think that's, to be able to get that reaction out of him and then see the performance that he had when he was in Rockford. That's the kind of response I think that you would hope for as the Blackhawks making that move. Now let's see if he can string a couple games like he had tonight together, because there have been a few times this season where it's been, demotion for Reichel, and then he gets, going from the 4th line to the 2nd line. Has a good game, and then 4 games in a row where he's a non-factor, and then he's scratched or he's bumped down a line or whatever. So seeing him respond tonight was great. Let's see him do it again Monday night against the Kings. And then go from there. If he can string together a couple of performances like this, I think that would be that'd be just the best thing for him for sure, is some consistency.
Well, Greg, you missed as Connor Bedard's empty net goal went into the net. This guy over here ran around the studio screaming because he wins the helmet on an empty netter with 0.5 seconds to go.
That's even lamer than winning off the blue line length. That's just we gotta rectify. Like this summer, we're doing a complete overhaul of these rules, because winning because of an empty net goal
feels good to be a winner.
It's a cheated victory. Take your tainted victory. It's fine.
I'll take it.
The unwritten rules are the unwritten rules. We can't do anything about it. But next year, promise you this: you're not going to get so many cheap wins.
That's fine. That's next year's problem.
Yeah. But you and I, Greg, we still have a lead over him. The GJWO is still in charge.
What's our magic number of clinching? It's got to be getting close.
We're pretty close. We may have clinched
left?
already, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might have clinched already. So, I mean, I've never seen so much energy out of this guy in my life. Just literally.
Yes, you have.
That puck goes in, and he just... Oh, yeah, I saw it after they won the draft lottery.
Yeah.
It was that level of a celebration for Mario.
Okay.
It was not that big.
It was a full-on... He ran from the couches at the east window around the conference room and back, screaming and yelling, "The helmet is mine."
That conference room, which is smaller than my apartment in Chicago was back in the day. Like, let's not... I didn't run the mile, all right?
Steven, you could chime in here. Steven was all...
Yeah, there was... Your hands were up in the air. You're pumping your fist. You did a full lap around.
Listen.
I thought tearing your shirt off was excessive.
Yeah.
And then
that's why I had to put
So he is wearing a different shirt than what he left with.
Yeah, that's
Saber-toothed the beer and just chugged. It was insane.
Yeah, he shotgunned a beer.
Ate
a bunch of gluten in celebration.
Yeah,
it's chaos around
You're
here.
the one sitting next to me. Look, I have to cheer the victories when I get them from this team this season. So that's what I'm going to take.
Yeah.
It's fine. At least I didn't try and get first pick after a win.
I'm just so used to not winning that I forgot I was first.
This is true too. Like like today was just the worst Who's Your Hawk day. We got Jay picking first, even though he won. We got guys winning the helmet because of an empty net goal with 0.3 seconds to go. Like this today is a dark day for the history of Who's Your Hawk.
Yeah, this is the day where we decide as a group that it needs to be revamped.
Man, I'm just hearing a bunch of sour grapes right now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. That might be part of it. That's for sure. All right, Greg, any nuggets for us before we spring you?
Any more of Donato's nuggets?
Two quick little things.
Yeah.
Props to the new fourth line, Slaggert, Donato, and Radish. Mentioned Radish's screen on the game tying goal, but they were very effective. I told Mario we were hanging out downstairs after Luke spoke, and I was putting the lines together for the pregame post, and I was like, this fourth line could turn out to be a very effective line, and they were very effective tonight. To me, that is like your ideal fourth line on a really good team. Not saying this is a really good team, but like that's a fourth line on a playoff team with those three guys. Like if that's your fourth best line, you've got a really good team, and I guarantee you Luke really likes what that line gives him. That's the type of hockey he wants on his bottom six. So that's props to those guys. Let's see if they carry it over. They're going to be in a different weight class, both literally and figuratively, next time out against LA. And let's see if they could be that effective there. And I just wanted to give a shout out. Met a couple of fans while walking the concourse before the game. I didn't get their names. But it was a couple, and they just said, hey, Greg, big fans, gave them fist bumps. So shouting out to our two unnamed fans I met earlier, but it's always a pleasure to see you guys in person. And always, if you see any of us anywhere besides, the men's room, say hello.
Yeah. I saw a guy at Pronto Italian Sandwiches in Hinsdale the other day, last Thursday, and he was sitting next to me at the bar as I was enjoying my giant chicken parm. And he said, hey, I enjoy what you guys do at CHGO. I didn't get his name either, but it is cool to meet CHGO fans in the wild, for sure.
I also met two nameless people in the atrium today. Might have been the same two. I don't know.
Did they take a picture of just you?
No, they didn't. No.
Still my favorite.
When I was in Indianapolis for the Combine, we're just walking by, and all of a sudden we see someone wearing a CHGO hoodie.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We're everywhere. Taking over the globe.
See, we're getting there. By the way, I said to you during the game, and I stand by it, there's no way that Landon Slaggert is not one of the 12 best players on this team, or forwards at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
he should play every game until the year ends.
I think that's the plan.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, more performances like tonight, I think will do well for keeping him in the lineup. I mean, he's a guy that's going to go out there and try and make an impression as a rookie for sure. But he's got that game where, the motor is high, the physicality, even though he's not the biggest guy, he's not afraid to do that, goes to the front of the net and, maybe gets a garbage goal every now and then. That's totally fine. Like, do that night in and night out, and you're going to have a good NHL career.
One more note, too. Connor Bedard, as of this moment, and we'll go to Connor's Corner soon so you can refine the stuff, Steven. 53 points in 54 games. He is very close to approaching point-per-game status. Remember, he had 3 goals disallowed because of offsides plays? Is that right?
Yep. At least this year.
Yeah, so
Yep, 3.
point per game as a rookie is an incredible landmark. And this kid, he's getting better every game. He's getting better every game, despite the guy on Twitter telling me that Luke Richardson ruins young players.
Sure thing.
Hey, it is St. Patrick's Day. That guy obviously had a lot of morning beers with his breakfast before saying that. So
no one that drinks Coors Light would have a thought that bad.
No one.
No matter how much Coors Light you drink.
No one has ever had a thought that bad with Coors Light.
And Dirtless Shark Guy, who I don't know if Greg knows about.
Yeah, Greg, have you seen Dirtless Shark Guy?
One of our new. He says there's wild fans on Twitter saying that Bedard is stat padding. It's called scoring goals, you idiots.
I can't wait for this season to be over just so we could stop with the Bedard versus Faber nonsense. It's like some people are just too obsessed over this. Like, yes, Russo made the comments, and that was a long time ago. I think if you ask him now, even he will say, like, "Hey, Bedard's the best rookie." Like, and if he doesn't,
the argument last week, Russo was.
Russo is going down with the ship this year. He is.
All right, well, that's
he
fine.
is sticking
Well,
to the
fine.
bit. No, he is sticking to his bit.
Then I take that back. He has just officially gained citizenship to Pudwakistan, and he can be Bill Guerin's burner account and make really bad thoughts. Whatever, done. Might unfollow him now. That'll show him.
That'll learn him.
I looked it up a couple of days ago. There have been, I gotta try and remember it. Six players in NHL history since World War II that have been 18-year-olds that have been a point per game in that 18-year-old season.
Yeah, but what were their plus minuses?
Well, I believe they were, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember, Sidney Crosby, Gretzky, Dale Hawerchuk, I think Mario Lemieux, and I want to say Fudge.
Who's that?
I love that guy.
But my point being, they were all Hall of Fame guys. So being a point per game as an 18-year-old, no small feat whatsoever.
And I just want to go on the record to say I don't think Brock Faber is a bad player. Brock Faber is a really good player. He's just not the best rookie in the league this year. Those are facts. Everything I said right there in that sentence, all true.
You're correct.
I'm trying to find it, but I don't see it. I can't find it.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
It was Leon Fudge, the greatest player in Kansas City Scouts history.
That sounds good. Tell me more about this Fudge. All right, we're going to let you go, Greg. No practice tomorrow, so celebrate that. We'll see you. We're in here tomorrow at 2:30. By the way, if you're still with us, thank you. Mailbag show coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Yep.
So get your questions in, and if you're a diehard, as always, you get preference, so submit them on our Twitter. We'll put out a tweet here after the show asking for questions, or hit us up in our Diehards Only Discord channel, and we'll get to your questions first.
Yes,
right,
we're going to be lazy tomorrow, and you guys get to program the show.
Yeah,
My
do the show
favorite day
for
of the
us.
week. Thank you.
All right, Greg, we'll see you tomorrow.
Can't wait.
That is Greg Boyson from the United Center. Whew. All right, let's do. What are we doing first? Connor's Corner or 4-star?
Let's do Connor's Corner.
Let's do it. Connor Bedard in this game had a goal. He had an assist, 20-38 of ice time, 3 shots on goal, and another shot attempt. Just another night at the office for Connor Bedard. Also, looking at the faceoffs, he won 4 and lost 2. Had 2 hits, had a takeaway. So a solid all-around game from Connor Bedard.
Good game from him. I think, there are times where he can be effective in a game and not light up the score sheet. Like tonight, okay, outside of 59 minutes, 59.7 seconds, he didn't have a goal. But he was still really effective, still impacting the game offensively. Had a couple turnovers created, which I think is good to see. He's getting in the passing lanes and getting active defensively, which we've been hearing a lot from Luke Richardson in the last few weeks about his defensive game. And on the play where he was getting sat on by Calen Addison, like if Tyler Johnson didn't come over and give Addison a what for, Bedard was about to get in his face, and which I love to see. Like he's not just going to be like, hey, like I don't want to start anything, like whatever. Like he's starting to stick up for himself because he knows he's got a target on his back, which I like to see. And as equally, I love to see his teammates stick up for him too.
Had a question. Who is the Calder Trophy winner with the least amount of goals?
Oh,
I found it.
I mean, it's got to be a defenseman, right?
The first, if you're not goalies, of course, the first 4 are defensemen. Jacques Lapierre, Barrett Jackman,
Hey,
LaPierre had 2. Jackman had 3. Kent Douglas
Aaron
had
Ekblad?
7. Moritz Seider had 7.
Oh, okay.
The first forward you find on the list, Carl Voss, the 1932-33.
Of course.
I don't know. He must have been on 2 teams that year. 8 goals. Blackhawks legend Cully Dahlstrom had 10 goals in 1937-38.
Also
Modern
known as
era
Carl Dahlstrom.
forward. Let's see. I'm trying to find like someone. Peter Forsberg, as a rookie in 1994-95, had 15 goals and 35 assists and won the Calder Trophy.
94-95?
Yep.
Shortened season.
Yes.
Wow.
Good point.
So
Good
there you
point. I'm trying to find anything else. Dennis Potvin had 17 goals.
Defenseman?
He is a defenseman. Yeah, there's not a lot of modern era guys with numbers that low.
So modern era full season.
Scott Gomez, 19 goals, 51 points, 51 assists, 70 points. That's probably like, if we're looking at modern history and no stipulations, that's the guy.
Interesting.
Lebowski 5 says Peter Forsberg, awesome player. That is correct.
He was pretty good. Yeah.
That is correct.
When you have a move named after you, you've done something well in hockey.
Yeah, even though Alex Shamanoff did that first. Just saying. All right, we got it.
I thought Forsberg did that like in the World Juniors.
He did it first. Shamanoff did it first.
Okay.
At least in my history book, it's over there.
Well, you did write a book.
Not on
That's
set.
true. You did actually have a history book.
Exactly. All right, let's get to Who's Your Hawk? No, not Who's Your Hawk. 4-star, and we'll wrap the show up. The winner is, I don't know.
Appropriately, since we were just talking about him, no surprise here. It is Connor Bedard.
I feel like every time Bedard is nominated, he wins.
Well,
He's really
usually
good.
he has the best game.
He is. Today, he did not get my vote. I gave my vote to Tyler Johnson today. Because
I mean, I gave it to Bedard. He got me the helmet.
played well. He got you the very important helmet.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact that Tyler Johnson's like, please stop humping my center.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spear you in the nuts, and we're both going to the penalty box.
Sure. I appreciate that he did that too. I like when we have enough options on the board for 4-star of the night that you can make a case for most of them.
Yeah.
Or all of them. Like I love having that.
What was the percentages?
It was 48% for Connor Bedard.
Majority.
Throwing a lot at you here,
It
Steven. Sorry.
was 34% for Kurashev.
Okay.
And 17% for Tyler Johnson.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Closer than most that involve Bedard. Let's put it
Yeah,
that
that's
way.
true.
I'll say this.
That is
I
true.
think we also missed an opportunity to debut a new segment today.
Podwakistan?
Yeah.
Never too
There was an
late.
opportunity there.
It's never too late.
It would take a little bit
There's
to
still
put together.
14 games left this season.
Did you add the pizza place I told you about?
I have not yet.
Okay.
The pizza place?
We'll talk about it off the
Okay.
air.
All right.
When we reveal our Podwakistan segment, y'all are going to be very, very happy. All right, we're going to wrap the show up. Please smash that like button for us right now. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page as well. Podcast listeners, same deal. Follow, subscribe, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And then once you've done it on your traditional place to listen or watch, switch over and do the same on the other side. That would be very, very helpful. All right, we're back tomorrow at 2:30 with a Mailbag Monday show. Can't wait. We'll talk to you then. Thanks for being with us on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.